viewers. This is Hybrid Tech Engineering IT Limited. Today I'll be talking briefly about RAM. And as we all know that the manufacturer of RAM have decided to producing on the embedded system RAM, which is a soldered RAM, and it has really caused a lot of uproar on the social media, and people are saying, why is it that they have to produce another RAM when we are already used to the normal DRAM? I want to quickly enlighten us on the importance of using solder RAM. One of the advantages of using a solder RAM is it has a low power consumption rate, because when you are using a solder RAM, the rate at which the because even RAM has its own voltage, a particular voltage of maybe like 2 volts that's consumed on your motherboard, and once you are using a solder RAM, it tends to reduce the amount of voltage that is being consumed on your motherboard, and it also comes with lower operating voltage. Like I said earlier, the voltage rating of the RAM will be a bit lower. Now it has the higher maximum frequency. When you are using a solder RAM, a solder RAM comes with higher maximum frequency. The frequency at which it disseminates information, at which it processes information, at which it transmits information will be higher. So let's look at the DRAM, the former RAM that we are used to, which is our random access memory. What are the advantages of using a DRAM? A DRAM has a capacity scaling and swapping advantage, because if you are using a DRAM, you can decide to scale your RAM, you can decide to swap your RAM into a suitable size that you want it to be. If you are using 8 gig RAM, you can decide to swap it to 16 gig RAM. You can decide to swap it to, depending on the configuration of your laptop. If your laptop can work with that, you can easily swap it to that size. And another advantage is exchange for size. Just like I've said, if you have a 4 gig RAM, you can exchange it to 8 gig RAM, depending on the size that you want it to be. And we still have another advantage, like the efficiency of using a DRAM is the efficiency and the design structure of using a DRAM is an advantage. You know that every RAM or every device on the motherboard has its own architecture. The architectural design of a DRAM is quite different from the architectural design of a soldered RAM. So the design structure are quite different, and that alone can also be an advantage, because using the solder RAM will come with a better design structure than using a DRAM. And most of the reason why all these things are coming into play is because of miniaturization. Just like I've said, if you have been following my videos subsequently, you will know that I've always been talking about miniaturization. And miniaturization is the process of bringing parts or making parts into a smaller size, bringing them and making them to become smaller. That is what miniaturization is all about, and that is the aim. The aim is that, okay, because of AI, as we have started using AI now, they want to miniaturize everything for it to be smaller, that you don't have to be carrying a larger size of RAM all around, carrying a larger size of computer. If you look at all the computers that we have now, they are miniaturized into a very compact way, a computer that you can easily, in fact, the time is coming that your laptop will be as small as your how would you call it, a tablet, because they want to miniaturize everything. Even it will come to a point whereby even SSD will be on board. It will be a soldered SSD. So let's try to join the trend. I also employ all my technicians to try as much as possible to upgrade yourself, get the adequate tools that you need to move on with the trend. Because if you are using a solder RAM, definitely if a client should come to you that, okay, probably the RAM failed and they want to replace it, it's not the usual way of you just opening the laptop and replace the RAM. You have to get adequate tools like the BGA machine. The BGA machine will enable you to unsolder it from the motherboard and solder it back. And the other, you also have access to those RAM. You probably maybe you can order them and have a way you can order those RAM before you can replace them. So it shows that it's also another avenue for us to upgrade ourselves. So if you have been following my page, always like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.